Today on the Let's Talk Battle Rap podcast, the Battle Rap podcast of New York, bring to you a Throwback Thursday interview. Shout out to Ness, Donovan McDabb, very underrated battle rapper. He's contributed a lot over the years. He's been in multiple eras, WRCs, the Grind Time, King of the Dot. He's battling Rum Nitty this weekend. You know, a lot of people have high respects for Nestle just because he doesn't really flash himself or he doesn't promote himself in a certain way. You know, a lot of people don't really acknowledge a lot of the things he does behind the scenes or what he's been able to contribute or how good he is. But he was a force for Atlanta battle rap before there was any of these platforms or leagues in Atlanta. He held it down. He was probably really the only battle rapper from there. At one point in time, Loaded Lux even thought about battling Nestle. And a year ago, around this time, November of 2017, when I was starting up the show, I reached out to him just because I respected his legacy as much as I did and his catalog and his career, and I wanted to acknowledge it. And so we had an interview, but I kept the episode in the vault. And it's only fitting that, you know, he has a battle coming up this Saturday against Rum Nitty, that we released his interview. You get a chance to get some insight on Nestle, his career, the ups and downs, the exclusives. So big shout outs to Nestle for giving me this interview a year ago, and it's just now surfacing and coming to light. And please don't mind my voice, guys. I am a little sick, but again, this interview was about a year ago. Keep in mind certain things may be a little dated, but I think you'll enjoy it. I'm very much looking forward to his battle with Rum Nitty this Saturday in Atlanta. Rap Grid's hosting it, so I guess it's a Rap Grid event. The event's called Atlanta versus Everything. You got a handful of names on that card. You got A Ward versus Carter Deems, Chef Trez versus Bricks. Ace Boogie's on the card. So it's looking like a fun event, and I'm interested to see that pay-per-view. And we'll definitely be covering that event. So shouts to Nestle, and best of luck to him this weekend. And as always, you guys want to follow the show, Twitter, Instagram, LTBR Podcast. You can email the show, let's talk battlerap@gmail.com. You can find the show on any of your favorite streaming outlets, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. Like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you and enjoy. Most distinct, respected underground rap artist from the South. He's battled against Reggie P and MC War, has participated in, you know, the Vintage Jump Off World Rap Championship League in 2007. He's made his debut on Grind Time. He's battled on Don't Flop, King of the Dot, all over the globe, you name it. His passport is tatted up. We have on the show none other than Donovan McDabb himself, Nestle. What's going on, brother?
Young Donovan McDabb. That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. What's good, bro?
Hey, man. I'm happy to have you on the show.
Man, I'm happy to be here, man. Appreciate you for reaching out, bro.
No doubt, man. We got tons to talk about, man. So I always kind of like to bring up the show talking about the most current events, and then we kind of like dabble into the past. So,
all right,
man, just recently, man, you had your 1-round battle with Bonnie Godiva, and up and coming, you actually have a battle, I think, in like about a month from now, out in in California. Nice.
Yeah.
Against Alias.
Alias. Yeah. Alias is a young monster, man. He's been on the come up for a while. He just never had that shot. Nobody ever gave him that lookout, man. So, and he's been a fan of mine, a big supporter of mine for a while, man. He's a big reason why the KOTD fans have been going crazy to get me back on KOTD. So, you know, I figured if I was gonna follow a tradition of me giving somebody a shot at the end of the year, why not, you know, somebody as talented as him, or someone who actually is a fan and respects what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen one of his battles. It was a while ago. I think it was about maybe a year ago or so on the Ground Zero. He battled Mickey Worthless, and he was pretty interesting. So he does have some potential. Yeah. You're
starting to realize that potential, man. He has a battle out with SM right now, and yeah, I thought he went crazy against SM, man. He's really, really good writer, really good rapper. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see. We're gonna put that pen to the test in a month. You know, we're gonna see what it's looking like.
Yeah, man. So I like that you definitely love to compete with people that like up and coming. You feel like, oh, I could give them a shot, I could give them a good look, And battle rap now, we're in a special place. There's so much talent all over the globe coming up. California, Georgia,
Absolutely.
New York, North Carolina, and then you leave the country as well, and out in London and Canada, all over. So like we're in a really special place.
Yeah, man. It's I remember because if you ask me, and I think I'm not wrong about this, but I think Grind Time started this whole resurgence of the battle rap thing, and on this level anyway, as far as starting leagues and the shit being worldwide. So, from direct starting Grind Time, I never knew that we would get to a point where if I woke up in any random place on this planet and had an internet connection and said I don't know where I am and made a post on Facebook, that shows where I am by my location. Somebody nearby is gonna hit me up and say, "Yo, you right around the corner from me, man. I like your battle versus Ilmac. Come through, post up." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that's
Like
a classic.
anywhere on this planet. Yeah, yeah. I appreciate that.
You
But,
know,
I was just no, go ahead.
when you was battling in Grind Time, you were like a big rep for the South. And if I remember, during all your whole Grind Time resume, I think only you had like maybe 9 Grind Time battles, or probably like 2 or 3 of them were in the South against Sir
Yeah,
Loxley, not Dirtbag Dan, Sid Vicious. Those 2 were in the South.
yeah,
A
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of them were in the South. So did that ever bother you? Like, oh, we can't branch out here.
It did, man, and it kind of hurt my brand because I was battling, in every era of battle rap in the South. But battle rap was never really a cool thing in the South. It wasn't, niggas was too busy worrying about making money, worrying about making songs, and battle rap was kind of corny to everybody else. So I was doing it, and me, Sonny, Sid Vicious, you know what I'm saying? This kid Corey Calico, Zero Basement, Issues. He was
Mm-hmm.
out here doing it when it was corny to a lot of other people, but we just had so much love for the sport. You know what I'm saying? In the freestyle era and whatever era, we was doing it back then. And so when Grind Time came around, all the big talent wasn't coming to the South. All the big talent was, in St. Louis or New York or the West Coast or Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Or London or Canada. So I figured, all right, so if the South isn't gonna do anything for themselves, I'm gonna take the South elsewhere. You know what I mean? So by the time I came, I moved back to the South and figured, let's go ahead and let's start doing events here and whatnot. Let me go ahead and start making my name here. Smack had picked up a few Southern battle rappers. T-Top, shout out to T-Top, shout out Trez, shout out, Briz Rothstein, shout out, Glue Easy,
It's funny.
and John Don.
I was just gonna mention John the Don and Chef Trez. I was gonna tell you. I bet you 5 years ago, just as soon as 5 years ago, you probably would have never imagined battle rap in Atlanta to be the way it is now in Georgia. Like with Bullpen being such a dominant league in the state, and you have so much talent coming up. And Chef Trez, you actually battled Chef Trez, so like that was kind of like a little like passing of the torch. Like, all right, man, you the new millennial coming up, man, and I like what you do. Let's battle.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, I really didn't think it would be like that in the South, man. But shout out to John Dr. Don, what he's doing with Bullpen. It's really made it really a powerhouse league, and shout out for bringing Don't Flop here. So we had a few monumental events out here with Don't Flop, man. And shout out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't leave out Milltown Blow. Milltown Blow was one of the first ones to really just dig in and say, let's plant a seed in the South and make some shit happen. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I made my name elsewhere and came back here, the South had already started back popping, and the South didn't really know who I was because I was trying to take the South everywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So but we working on that. We working on that.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of battles where like you have the cities and you have 2 different generation of battle rappers battling, and so when you and Chef Trez battled, it was so funny because to me like you had such you had your style, your smooth lyrics, your laid back flow that you always have, and he had his style that's much more modern. It's funny, a lot of the bars that you said in that battle were actually used down later on in other battles, like out in Summer Madness, out in and the king of the dot. So like you hear some of these bars being repeated, and it's like, oh well, this person said it first. This person said it first, and it's like, no, let's play the game tapes. Ness actually said it first.
Right. I mean, it was kind of I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna keep it all the way funky, man. I was heated at that Chef Trez battle, man, because I was looking at it like, all right, this is this is the true school versus the new school. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, passing the torch. So I was expecting a 10 of ears, but it more so seemed like, everybody in the building was really more so there just to keep Trez from losing. That's what it seemed like, because I respect Chef Trez Penn so much that I was like, let me give him a real good 3 rounds, a real mean 3 rounds. Let me write some real shit.
Midway through your second, you're like, oh man, you guys are asleep. Like you said a couple lines that got no reaction. Like you had a line about Missy Elliott in the big suit in the rain, and that line got no reaction there, and that line got reaction everywhere else, and so many other platforms. And it was weird because it was a small environment where you think you can have like a small room setting kind of battle, which is good. And that's how like some of these modern battlers now they're not used to the small rooms. They have to prepare for the stage because that's essentially the goal. So it was weird that like the crowd wasn't kind of like giving you the energy that I thought they would give you, especially like for what the battle was and what it could have been. It was much bigger than what people thought.
Right. Yeah, it just seemed like they was more so there to support Trez than to see a good battle, because my best lines, those were the ones that didn't get reaction. My little lines in between, those are the ones that got reaction. But
that must throw a battle rapper off so much, man. Like where they're like, oh yeah, this haymaker's gonna hit, and then the setup is what like gets the crowd, but the punch doesn't. That must throw you off like so much as a battler.
I hated everybody in the room that day, dog. I wanted to beat up everybody, dog. Dead ass, man. I wanted to be there for everybody, but nah, man. Shout out to ABR, man. Shout out to Miss NYC, Chris, my man Chris Petty, man. Like that's some real stand-up folks, man. Shout out to all the artists at ABR too. They about to keep Atlanta moving, man.
Yeah, man. So before we dabble into your past, staying back to what's going on currently, I'm sure you probably heard the news. If you haven't, I'm gonna break it to you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so you just had the battle with Bonnie Godiva, and I don't know if you heard, but I'm gonna break the news to you if you haven't heard. Okay, you're laughing, so we both on the same page. I don't want to give it too much light in the negative aspect, but what's your opinion on it? Thinking like, damn, I battled somebody else's verse,
I mean, it was crazy, man. It was odd because I remember before the battle happened, I have like 2.5 rounds for her when we were supposed to battle like in 2013. But I ain't like none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really have much time to write for the new battle, so I felt like, all right, let me write 20 bars, let me write 40 bars, and in between those 40 bars, I'm gonna add like some of my bars from this math battle that never happened in 2014. You know what I'm saying? And I felt bad about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was feeling crazy. Like, damn, man.
Wow, I didn't even know you were supposed to battle Math. And during that year, 2013 to 2014, Math was on a tear. Like he was battling everybody.
Yeah, he was going in. Maybe it was 2015. It was 2015. Yeah, it was at the end of 2015 when me and Math was supposed to battle. So we were supposed to battle out of Africa, and it never happened because the league, they just messed up some things. But I was like, being that battle never happened and I had some crack in it, let me go ahead and take like 20 bars from this battle and put that in between these 40 bars that I just wrote for Bonnie, since I don't have too much time. So, since I already have a little bit of this memorized, I have, the preparation to be a little easier. So I felt bad about that, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt crazy, like, damn, man, like I felt like I ain't taking it seriously, man, and I know she's a monster. So, and then when I heard about that, it was like, oh, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know how I understand the standpoint, because sometimes you take on too much and it's hard to focus on one thing, especially something that's memory based, man. You know what I mean? But
man, it's ironic. It's ironic you felt so guilty, and then come to the light, you're like, oh damn, it's almost like
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, man. And it is so wild because, you know, I'm YTG, you know what I'm saying? People don't know. I've been YTG for a minute, man. So I've seen Bonnie write her own bars, man. I've seen her freestyle, man. And, you know, like, she was legit with the pen. It just, you know, when that right there happened, it was like,
Would you have preferred her to contact you directly and just say, yo, I'm not ready, I'm not prepared, and let's do it another time? Would you have preferred that? Of course, probably, right?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because I hate waiting to battle. I hate waiting. It's like waiting. It's like waiting to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's either you want to whoop somebody's ass or get your ass whooped and get it over with. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I'm glad we got it over with, man. I mean, at this point, all she can do is just show up to the next battle. We supposed to be doing a 3-rounder, so whoever can pick that up, you know, whether it be you know, bullpen or KOTV or, you know what I'm saying, or APR, right. ABR or, you know, ABR, ARP, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to pick up the 3-rounder and you know, the only thing she can do is just show up and show out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I think you on the RB League would be dope because RB League is a really, like, it's a small setting and it's a battlers league where it's like they really cater to writers. They cater to battlers to have good flows. They're very accepting to other people from other places. Ilmac came out here and I got to go to the event. I met him out there, and the crowd was very like curious and cautious. Like, how are we gonna receive Ilmac? And he had a great reception and great performance.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard too many people talk about the Ilmac battle, man. But I mean, from your perspective, how did it go, man?
Ilmac had a great battle. Like, for me personally, like, I knew, because Ilmac is a great MC outside of battle rap. He has a huge fan base. He can rock the crowd everywhere. Some people was like, oh, how can he's gonna adapt to New York? I'm like, guys, this guy has tours and concerts and shows that are bigger than some battle events that he's battled at. I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. You know, like, he's battling he's battling hostile environments where, like, he's battled people that's hated him and the whole entire crowd wants him to lose and he's left victorious. Like, let's put some respect on his name. You know,
right. Put all that respect on my little nigga's name, man. All that respect, yeah.
So when he went out there, I thought he edged JC. It was a great battle. I talked to him a little bit afterwards and told him about how it was a good performance. So overall, though, like, Ilmac and a lot of guys from his generation, including you, sometimes you guys don't get the notoriety like fans should be giving you, and I hate that. Like, Ilmac had an amazing year this year, but nobody talks about it. You know, he battled Chilla Jones, beats him. He battled JC out here in New York, edges him. He battled Iron Solomon, you know, past prime battle in my opinion, but it's two heavy names, and he 3-0s him in the building. So it's like, all right, he had 3 clean victories against notable names on big cards and big stages. Why isn't this being talked about?
Right. Well, I mean, you know, it's a battle rap right now is Smack's game. You know what I'm saying? And if you haven't been in the front of Smack, a Smack type crowd or Smack himself, then a lot of people don't give you credit for what the fuck you do. Like, your battle didn't happen if you haven't been in front of those type of stages. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was a smart move for Ilmac going over and battling on RBE. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that was.
Do you think?
I keep saying the fucking name wrong. But yeah, man, that was.
It's funny you mentioned that. Like, it's funny that you mentioned that. Like, not battling on Smack kind of like is what hurts the fans to like acknowledge you. Do you feel like for you personally, never battling on Smack, like, has affected your career?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, someone told me the other day that I should be the Mook or the Lux of Atlanta. I mean, whether that's true or not, just the fact that somebody says it, it's like, well, I mean, why would you say that? And then why am I not? And then, you know, I guess I had to look at it as if I haven't been in front of the biggest crowd in battle rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, Smack definitely has the biggest crowd in battle rap. I rock with KOTV heavy. That's, you know, that's pretty much my home league. But just to keep it all the way funky, man, Smack is the biggest crowd in battle rap. So if you have a rap in front of the biggest crowd, and those people are passionate people, they think that's the only stage that there is in battle rap. So if you ain't been on the only stage there is a battle rap, you don't exist to a lot of these folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's I hate the people like kind of knock battlers for not battling on that platform. I understand how big the platform is, and I'm so grateful that this past year we've had so many transcending like battlers that have built their name and their rep, and they have such good abilities, and they've never been on Smack. And it's like, okay, that makes me happy to know that like finally we can leave that mindset. Like it's not to downplay Smack, you know, but like just because somebody doesn't get a chance to battle on that platform doesn't mean we can overlook their skill set. It's just one of many leagues. I mean, it is the biggest league, but it's one of many leagues, and there's so many battlers. And if you love the sport as a whole, you're gonna find talent everywhere, all over.
Yo, a lot of people like to say if it ain't Smack, it don't count. I like to say if you got paid for it, yeah, it counts. Even furthermore, I like to say if that shit's on YouTube, that shit counts, man. Fuck what you talking about, man.
Right, man.
But that shit is uploaded. We could battle in the back alley on somebody's iPhone 1. If I battled you, if you got my material, that shit counts, man. If I beat Lux, and ain't nothing but 2 people see it, I don't care. I beat Lux, bro.
You real old school, man.
Right.
So bringing it back to old school, and it's funny you mentioned Lux and Mook. People forget you're from their era. Like it's not like they're above you drastically. Like you guys are in the same class when you guys are all coming up. In fact, people forget that around 2012 or prior to Lux battling, I can't remember. You had a diss record out because they put a track out like kind of talking about the South and Southern rap. And so you had a record responding to Mook and Lux. That was interesting.
I had Lux thinking about battling him. I had him thinking about it, man. He posted the track on his page a few times and asked the people, you know, what they thought about me and the track or whatever, man. And it was nothing but positive responses, man. It was crazy because I was a big Lux fan, especially his music. And when I saw that video, what they were doing in the video, I was like, wait, hold up, man. This ain't nothing but Southern artists that they doing this to. You know what I'm saying? So then I saw a little interview where Lux was like, don't get mad at it. Let it inspire you. I was like, all right, this is what it inspired there, little nigga.
That sounds like something exactly he would say. Like, don't get mad at it. Let it fuel you.
Right. All right. Well, this is exactly what it fueled. Nigga, take these bars to the face real quick, man. Yeah, but nah, man. Shout out to Lux and Mook, man. Mook actually tried to get me on the Snoop Dogg joint. You know what I'm saying? When he came out here, and Lux was very supportive of my very own diss track towards him. So.
That's hilarious.
Shout out to them boys, man.
So when you were in their era, right? You were part of the World Rap Championship, that tournament, the WRC. I remember that. Like it's so interesting, right? Because if you're watching it as like a casual fan, you're like, man, this is awkward. Like this is like in somebody's backyard, or somebody's garage, or somebody's room. It's like 3 people in the room. But when you find out the storyline of what it was, and you realize how big it was, like they had this really organized from circuit to circuit, city to city. It was interesting. And after the WRC, you didn't battle for about 2 years, and your first battle was against Jay Focus on Grind Time, and you lost.
Yeah, man.
You had a lot of resilience.
It was so wild. I did. It was wild because I didn't recognize how big the WRC was until it had gotten uploaded online a couple months later. Cause before then, I had retired from battle rap altogether. I had, I did that Reggie P battle in 2006 just for, because they promised me some money. By the way, what's the nigga's name? NC War, they can kiss my ass. They owe me some money from forever ago. But they promised me some money. I did that battle in 2006. Never got that money. But before then, I had retired from battle rap altogether since like 2003. You know what I'm saying? Like I was on my music thing. I was trying to, do my life thing. I was about to get engaged, all sorts of other things. So I never heard of Ilmac. I had never heard of Thesaurus. I didn't, I'd heard of No Can Do, but mostly because of his music, But I didn't know who Disaster, who Dumbfounded. I didn't know who any of those legends were. Of course, I knew who Marv was from 8 Mile. I knew who Quest was because I was on the reality TV show with him in 2003. But other than that, I just thought it was just like a regular little freestyle thing, and I hit up my man Jam like, yo, let's just go through there real quick and get this money and bounce. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have to do any qualifiers because
was it paid or was it paid or was it winner take all?
It was winner take all. It was winner take all. It wasn't paid, but you know, everybody in their divisions, in their respective divisions, had to do qualifiers. But I didn't have to do one because everybody remembered me from being around the city doing my thing. So it was wild that I didn't know how far freestyling battle rap had progressed. So I come in there doing my little 8 Mile style of punchlining. You know what I'm saying? I do say my bar, say the punchline, pause, say the setup, punchline, pause, setup, and then you know, fucking Mad Ill comes and does a whole verse rhyming with my whole name, and I'm like, yo, this is what they doing now, and they chew our face off. I'm like, in those, like all those 10 battles took place in one day, so within those 10 battles, I'm trying to catch up to the time and rhyme like how they doing now. So, you know, by the end we figured it out, but we had already lost so many battles. You know what I mean? So from that right there, that's why I met Direct, and he's the one that put me on the grind time, and you know, here we go.
What kept you wanting to battle? Like, you know, like you took the breaks, you kind of retired from battling. You said to yourself that like in your area, battle rapping was corny. It was frowned upon. It was taboo. And you your first battle back after 2 years on grind time, which we don't know how big the platform's gonna be later on. Like, you know, it's really small. I think you're in New York. You take a loss, and I bet you in your heart you probably feel like you didn't lose that battle. But after that, you go on a tear and you end your record being 5-1.
Oh man, it was wild, man. The thing that kept me wanting to battle is anytime you take an L, you it lights a fire up under you. So all them losses in WRC, I was like, well, here comes grind time. Let me go ahead and try to wipe these WRC losses and get them lost in cyberspace whenever you search my name. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what it was, because when you search Ness on YouTube, it was like a couple videos and it was all them WRC losses. So I was like, let me do grind time to get something that we can put on top of those losses, so you know, you have to search a little further. And, you know, shoot, a few years later, here we are, man. You can barely even find them things, man. And I don't. You know what's crazy is as much as I felt my material was better than J Focus's, I still knew that I lost because it's a performance art, man. You know, like if it's just gonna be all about lyricism and how well you write your bars, then we need to just do song tournaments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but battle rap wasn't performance based yet at the time period. It didn't become performance based till probably like 2010 with the stages. Everything was still like lyrical.
Well, I mean that's when everybody else caught up that it was performance based. But J Focus was the guy that got to battle Hollow and Swave and all that because he was so entertaining. His bars wasn't that dope, but he was entertaining. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the people that just had that entertainment factor. He beat me solely because he was entertaining. You know what I'm saying? My bars was better, but what's crazy is live battling is a performance art. When you reach YouTube, it's about performance as well as your bars. So if you go and look at me versus J Focus right now and read all the comments, there's probably like 220 comments on that battle, and like 219 of them are people saying I won the battle and I got jerked. So it's, you know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I see what you're saying though. Like that's probably where you transcended yourself and learned. Okay, let me hit the game tapes, and this is how we're gonna come back and we're gonna win battles. And every a lot of battle rappers don't like to admit losses, but they need to admit when they have their lessons, where they have the moment in their career as a battle rapper where it's like, this is what's gonna change everything. This is the 180 for me. And that must have been the 180 for you, because you had all these battles on grind, and a lot of the battles you had, man, like there's so much respect I give to you, because like you came out to the East, you battled Dirtbag Dan out in the West in crutches. Like I think this is when you just you mentioned that you know you tore your ACL, you said, right?
My
Achilles heel, and then you from there you lost your job, and that's when you kind of like took the leap of faith and then went all in on rap. So when people see a guy on crutches spitting bars and he wins the battle, by the way, that's crazy. And he wins the battle. You cannot say he's not dedicated. And it's like, well,
yeah. It was crazy, man. Like after the J Focus loss, I felt so bad. I was like, I'm not losing anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not losing to nobody.
And
not in grind time, I don't think. But then, then 2010 happened. 2010 was kind of crazy, man. That's when I ruptured my Achilles heel. That in turn helped me lose my job. And, I was already going through some things with my girl. So I moved out and moved back in with my sister. And as soon as I moved in with my sister, that's when we had the house fire. So it was like, and I was still on crutches when we had the house fire. So it's like, oh, man, I'm really being tried right now. So this next year, like I can't really work right now. So this next year, I'm about to just do nothing but battle and do music, man. And I haven't had a job since, man.
Yeah, man. Things happen for a reason, and it's interesting that like that happened to you. And instead of like you feeling down for yourself, you felt fueled to like, you know what? This is the window of opportunity. Let's take it, and let's never look back. And look what it's brought you. You know?
Yeah, man. Music money and battle money, trying to make it through the years is a struggle, but at the end of the day, so is having a regular job. So, you know what I'm saying? We here, man.
Moving forward, then to your battle career, you have such a traditional like mindset when it comes to battling, and I say that because I think about your battle with Shotty Horror, which I think was up to that moment was one of your biggest battles for sure.
Absolutely.
And man, Shotty Horror was he's a force to be reckoned with. He definitely he's definitely a star all the way around. And he actually started his battle league. He actually started his own battle league, which is pretty dope.
Right.
When
Shout out to Shotty.
The judges decided to give you the win, and you choked in the round, and you said, "Nah, I choked. Don't give me the win. Give him the battle. I choked. That's not fair." So in your mindset, because you come from the era of like spit as long as you can, come prepared with rounds, come prepared with bars. If you even stumble on a word, that's it. You're done. Stop spitting. Right. If you choke in a round, is the whole battle eliminate for you, or just the round?
I really just go by how bad the choke was and where it was in the round. Because I'm going to keep it all the way funky with you. You get the exclusive right now, dog. I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. I didn't give him that battle because I thought I lost. You know what I'm saying? Really? That choke was at the beginning of my round. I got through my gun. I gave him that battle because the crowd was clearly there for Shotty. They wasn't there for me. You know what I'm saying? So if I would have took that,
you don't want that. You don't want that hate. You don't want that controversy on you.
Nah. I didn't want that at all, man. They wouldn't let me out that building, bro. I would have got jumped by like 25 white people.
It was really honorable of you, and people. I think that like built you up so much. People have so much respect for you for it, and so like judging in battle rap is just so difficult, man. I think it's not as difficult as we make it seem. It's just that we don't prepare for it the way we're supposed to. All these leagues have judges, and like sometimes the judges are like already halfway drunk, or you're picking biased judges. They're high, all this stuff. So like, it could be done properly. There could be systems for it, but
it could be. But we're a little bit. We might be a little bit in over our heads at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because battle rap has been around so long. So it's going to have to be something big to happen that's going to implement an actual judging system, or else we're just going to, stay the same, man. But, yeah, man, that battle was kind of crazy, man. I didn't expect to. That was like the first time I had showed up to an event fully prepared with with what I thought was crazy bars and just got no kind of reactions. And that was the first time that I recognized how real actual biasness. I don't even know if biasness is a word. I think it's just bias. But that's the first time I recognized how crazy bias is in battle rap, man, and how real it was. Because no matter what I said, anything Shotty said was going to be better because he was the star at that moment. You know what I'm saying? He was the one. Man. He was the one.
I think in your post interview after that battle, you stated, I actually prepared for this battle and I lost, and all the battles that I don't prepare for, I win. So I'm gonna just stop caring about you guys.
That was probably just me being salty, man, because I actually prepared for all battles. That was probably just me being salty.
But there was a moment in your career where you were a little unmotivated. You stated that you're like, I took the battles, and throughout the timeline, like you took Heartless, and you probably were unmotivated for Heartless, but all the people telling you that you couldn't beat him kind of fueled you up. And that happens sometimes with battles. Yeah. Like they're like, I don't want to take this match, and then you got that one person that's your friend, your boy, your girl, and it's just like, yo, don't take that match. Don't take that match. You're like, damn, you're my boy. Like you're in my corner. You don't think I could win?
Yeah, it was my girl. It was my girl at the time. You know, my girl was the biggest Heartless fan. You know.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Head over heels in love with me, man. But you know, Heartless got her in the battle rap, so. You know, she was a diehard Heartless fan. He was the first person that she really checked for like that, man. So nothing I could say would have her think that I could beat Heartless. Plus, she didn't, like, she was more of a Smack fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, she checked that side of things out. She didn't really know anything outside of punchlines and schemes and slow it down. So she didn't really actually know what I did. She didn't actually get what I did until I did it at Heartless. You know what I'm saying? Like, to give an example, my man Warbucks on rapmusic.com, one of my favorite quotes of his is, you think you think you better, what did he say? Something like, you think you're better until you actually battle me. You think you're on my level until you actually battle me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you need that example. You know what I'm saying? You need that barometer. You need that. You know, you need something that you can compare what you're doing to for some people to get it. You know what I'm saying?
This isn't to say that your pen ability, your penmanship in battling isn't as good as Heartless or as good as Danger Zone.
Right.
But these guys are special. Right. You guys are specialists in it. What made you confident? What made you confident you could take battles with people that are like specialists in it? Where like even if you feel they're not better than you, you know that their pen is like their number one weapon. Where it's like, okay, lyrically I can't beat this person. I'm a performer, but I'm not gonna like be super animated. What gave you the game plan? Is like, okay, this is how I'm gonna go into it with these kind of guys.
Because I come from a background of rap, man. Like I don't come from a background of, you know, I only do punchlines or I only do schemes. I only perform. I come from a background. I come from the era where you had to be good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I had a couple years back in 2000, 2001 where all I did was punch, and that's what I was working on at the time. I was just trying to punch so I could get better at it. I had a couple years where all I did was multis. I had a couple years where all I did was stories or imagery. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that wasn't just to say that I was going to stay in that area. That was more so just to say I'm going to add all of these to the final package and be one of the best rappers ever. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I had to come up against a Heartless, it's like, man, I was a punchliner before everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not to sound like an old bitter nigga and shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's literally what it was, man. Like I was a punchliner. That's what I used to do. Like it was my big homie Rockwell. Shout out to Rockwell. He used to tell me, bro, like you can't. Like he was a legit punchliner. You know what I'm saying? He used to say you can't get beat if you can punch in every bar, as well as rhyme the way you do. So I went through like a whole tournament on rapmusic.com. It's like when you upload your audio, you pretty much make diss songs to people. I went through a whole tournament where I did nothing but punch on every line. Even the setup was a punch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I come from that. That was you know a decade and a half ago for me. You know what I'm saying? So when I got to go up against it, I've already been there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man. So it's funny. I want to put something out. You said I had to learn how to do everything, and you did because right. I think right before your battle with like Danger Zone, you battled Dialect on Don't Flop, and I think that was the battle you had that was on the beat. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you guys are one of the first battles like on these kind of platforms to like, oh, yo, throw in an instrumental, let's rap. And you know,
Right.
he had a really good first round, but your first round, it cracks me up all the time. You're spitting, and you had a punchline your first 4 bars, and then they had to stop you and they had to like cut the video off because they probably had to rewind the instrumental and get you to flow and tell everybody don't react. So it lets you know like, hey man, what I do in battle rap, I can do this on a beat too, and it was so impressive because like we don't get the opportunity often to hear like some of the real lyricists on the beat and exert their abilities in a battle, you know.
I appreciate that, man. The thing is, like, people think battle rap is new, but it's not. Like, a lot of these cats come from rapping. Yeah, a lot of these dudes come from rapping on tracks.
Yeah.
Like Ty Law. Ty Law sounds amazing on the beat. People wouldn't think so because he had the stigma of only being a puncher, but he's crazy on the beat. Fredo's crazy on the beat. People would overlook that because they think all he does is multi, but he does that same shit on the beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Lux already proved he sounds crazy on the beat. Mook already proved he sounds T-Top. He's crazy on the beat. Brizz, you know what I'm saying? All of us come from the era of actually rapping. There's a lot of battle rappers that are new that came after like 2012, after it already started getting its name. That came just because it was on YouTube and it was getting views and a lot of attention. But you know, they don't do anything but battle rap. They don't do music. But you know, a lot of us.
A lot of the international leagues, like the ones in the Philippines and in Russia, they have multi categories of their battle rap events where they have the regular standard 1-on-1 battle, they have 2-on-2s, they have actual freestyles, and they have beat battles. So they revert to the real traditional style of battle rap. And if you notice, or if you heard by the metrics, battle rap in Russia and battle rap in the Philippines beats us in America by tons of views, tons of metrics, tons of data.
Absolutely.
And they stuck to the original roots. You know, do you feel like that can come back? It's interesting. Do you remember the legendary event Spin the Mic from Jump Off?
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely.
You know, Spin the Mic is coming back, right? 2017 edition. It's crazy.
Yeah. You know what? I actually did hear about that. That's crazy. That is dope, man. I hope so. I mean, because the way it's going right now, it's thousands, it's hundreds of leagues, tens of thousands of battle rappers, and it's already oversaturated. We're going to run ourselves into the ground, but we don't see different sides of it.
There's approximately there's 19,000 battle rappers in the globe. This is crazy because 10 years ago, there probably was a lot of battle rappers, but for all we knew, there was probably 50 at max.
Right. So those are the only documented ones. There's probably, you know, 1 million battle rappers out there, man. Mm-hmm. The ones that have YouTube footage are the 19,000. Those are the lucky ones. Mm-hmm. There's some cats out there that we've never heard of that would make us look crazy. So, you know, say these numbers keep growing as far as, you know, say it's 25,000 that have footage or 30, 40, 50 that have footage. Eventually we're going to get tired of it because it's only, you know, a good 15 that everybody knows and that everybody's going to click on every time they watch it. We're going to get tired of the same format. So we need these spin the mics and we need, you know, the type of thing that me and Dialect did. We need the on-beat battles and, you know, something just to switch up the format and you know, put a new wrinkle on our brain, man. Put a new wrinkle in the brains of the people who, you know, just started watching in the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So like, I hope it does.
I can't wait to see what it looks like now in 2017. You know.
Oh man, I'm excited to see what Spin the Mic gonna do, man. I actually got to get on one of those if I have time.
It would be awesome if they brought back a couple people from the original, like they brought Quest McCody.
Oh man,
that'd be interesting.
Right. Question Ilmax, man. I think he was ranked that one, man. Man, I need to see it, man. I need to be there, bro. I don't want to be a judge. I ain't trying to be on no diva. I need to be
you just want to acknowledge it as like, okay, as a fan, like let me sit back and watch this. Don't ask me no questions. Let me hear it.
Right. Yeah, man. I would love to take part in that, man.
And that battle, that's going to take place in London. And I think when you battle Dialect, you did that battle on the beat, Correct me if I'm wrong. That was in London, right? Or was it in Manchester?
That was Manchester.
Yep. So there we go. That was in Manchester, and I think that's why it was so receptive because people, outside of our country, they still love the old school version of battle rap. And
I'm glad you said that because we're desensitized over here to hip hop in general. You know what I'm saying? We don't show the same respect to the music that we created over here. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been around. It's like being married to a bad chick. You know what I'm saying? You've been with her for 18 years. She's no longer bad than you are. You know, if you're in the house with the same person every day. Everybody else that you walk by with her is looking at her like, "Yo, you got the baddest chick in the neighborhood." That's how it is. That's how it is with hip hop and battle rap, man.
And you love to battle. You love battling all over the globe. You love traveling to battle.
I love it, bro. Hey, man, you can't, man. Listen, man. Every time one of these Super Smack fans try to argue and say, "Well, why if you so nice, why you ain't been on Smack?" I tell you, well, how come none of these Smack niggas been to Africa? How come they ain't never been to Australia? How come they ain't never been to London?
Like, are you happy the international doors are starting to open now? Because, we had that battle with Disaster and Oxymoron, but before that battle, people are starting to get booked now in Australia, and like Cortez now, he has battles in Australia in the future. Jims has battle in Australia. Disaster has battles all over the globe too for the upcoming year. So it's interesting now how people starting to gravitate towards. Like, it's funny, everything that you've done in your career, you did it before it was like cool. Oh, you guys are battle rapping in the basement? Whatever. Forget you. Oh, you going to Australia and Africa?
Man. Absolutely, man.
We're gonna call it the Nestle effect. Doing it before it gets popular.
Right. That's also a good way to not get credit for what you do. But, I ain't here for the credit, man. I'm here for the experiences, man, and meeting the people. But I'm elated that the doors are opening now, man, because that's what I like. Whenever I'm arguing with these folks that say if I'm so nice, why I ain't been on Smack? Whenever I retort with I've been in Africa twice and blah blah blah, I'm mostly doing that to open up their minds to the possibility of going to Africa, of going to Sweden, of going to Australia, because they really think it don't exist, man. It's a whole another world out there, bro. Go experience, go see that, man.
You've put a couple people on. You've put people on to you help people get booked outside of the U.S. I remember Bonnie Godiva mentioned, I think you opened doors for her for South Africa and a couple others.
Absolutely, man. I'm trying to, man. It's a whole world out there, bro. We got to experience that, man. If we only see what we see around here, then you ain't seen nothing. You ain't lived life, man. You haven't lived life, man. If I stayed in my hood every day and thought my hood was the only way life existed, man, I'm going to be the most closed-minded person on this planet. My experience is going to be limited, man. My palate is going to be limited, man. I need to see things. I need to, I also think that also came from me growing up being an Army child, but, shout out to me being an Army child, man. I love moving around. I love seeing things, man. So, when I see people like Math go to Sweden, it's like, man, the hood is, we traveling now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope to me. That's dope to me, man. I love it, bro.
Since battle rap is a gladiator sport, you can compare sometimes to the fight game, UFC, boxing, and boxing. We got the WBC, the World Boxing Council, where it's one of the major organizations that that regulates International Boxing Federation, and for the most part, we need that global expansion in battle rap. Like, we need battlers from these other countries coming into the main leagues and battling, and then bringing a whole new market, a whole new fan base. I think that Oxymoron battle just broke the charts for everybody. And everybody's like, all right, let's start taking these flights. Let's go over here. Let's go over there.
Right.
And I think battle rap can soon have that, where maybe they create a world council, and then we start moving forward to the regulation in battle rap, because I love the sport, and it's about time that the sport starts having some stats, starts having some numbers, starts having some rules, a council, a union, or something. We can't just have all these talented artists spitting their hearts out, and then we have nothing to document it by.
Right. No, that's real, man. That's real, and Actually, I like that. I like what you're saying about that, man. And that would be it would behoove battle rap to adopt that ways, man. And because honestly, at the end of the day, this whole thing is like a big frat, man. It's like a huge frat, man. And we somewhat stick together, and we somewhat have unspoken rules, man. But what if we had spoken and written rules, and what if we actually made it a real frat, man? We don't really band it together. That would be dope. That would be dope. I think we would benefit from it. Because for a while, I mean, it's coming to it seems like it's slowly inching its way there. Because for a while, there was a huge divide between all the leagues, man. And
there still is.
It still is, but between the battlers now, it's kind of dope because I remember there was a time where smack battlers used to look down on everybody else, or KOTD battlers used to look at smack battlers like all they did was gun lines, and it's like now, whenever we're at events, all of us are kicking in the same hotel, going drinking, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying, chatting it up or whatnot. It used to be, separate hotel rooms and not really rubbing shoulders like that. So I think eventually we're going to get to that point, man. Because I think at the end of the day, we're realizing that we all need each other, man. We all feed off the same energy. We all doing the same thing. We're all rapping in front of the same people, whether we're in the same venue or not. It still ends up on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And it would benefit all of us to just work together instead of against each other, because I think it's been around so long. It's been around long enough for us to realize that it's a sport in the ring, but outside the ring, it's more so like a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? There's battle rappers that I've never spoke to. Yeah, it's battle rappers that I've never spoke to. I might not even like their bars, but if I see them in public and there's an issue, I'm going to side with them automatically. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is.
Yeah, man, that's real, man. That's definitely real. I think as a whole, like, for this sport to elevate, it's just gonna have to come with everybody to not be selfish in a sense and unify. Where it's like, if leagues could come together, if media can come together, if people could come to better agreements and terms, we can move this, because everybody always wonders, like, wow, this is so popular. You have millions of people watching this. You have we're more talented than artists that are signed and that are mainstream. Why aren't we getting the notoriety we need? And I think it's coming soon. But for it to come, it's just gonna require everybody to kind of work together in one, and then move forward. So it's funny you say it's kind of like a frat, where it's like there is a common base of respect. There's a common base of understanding. There's a common base of brotherhood.
Right.
It's awesome.
Right. Yeah, I think for the main thing for that to happen, what you're talking about is one of us is gonna have to break through to the actual industry. We're on the verge. We got the Hitman Hollers.
Oh no, there's been few. Meek Mills was a battle rapper first, and his success. Mook is signed a Rough Rider. Hitman Hollers on TV. Right. Charlie Clips is on TV, because there's a handful of people that's popped.
Right. But like there hasn't been anyone from this era of battle rap to actually make it on to MTV or to make it on the radio through their music. I mean, like the Kid Black did, the Kid Black that starts his name with a 6. He used to battle rap, but he doesn't attach himself to battle rap. You know what I mean? So, it's going to take for somebody that's up and coming that does make good music to actually break through that shell and go all the way there from all the way here. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's going to really...
It sounds like for over a decade now, TV and battle rap has always been something that people have been trying to figure out a formula for. And a lot of battle rappers eventually they become part of reality TV shows. You yourself, and somebody else from your era that's part of a reality TV show that's really funny and ironic is Ness. And I know for you back in 2006, 7, 8, because since Ness is from your generation, you probably heard his name through the grapevine, and you probably think to yourself like, who is this guy with my name, or who is this guy that looks like you without a beard? You and Enos look alike. If you guys don't wear hats and you shave your beard, you guys are pretty similar. He's a little chubbier, but
Yo, let me tell you, man. I used to get confused with this cat so much. Still, to this day, I got one this year. This is the least I've ever been confused with him since I kicked his ass. But I still got one this year, and I'm never gonna forget that. It's because it's like, yo, even after we battle, it still happens. But it was wild. I remember I was at work at UPS, man, and my homeboy Bird, who I was in the Sword Hour with. Shout out to Bird. Who I was on the Sword Hour with. His brother calls me like, "Hey, man, hey, watch MTV Making the Band when you get a chance, man." So I went to the crib, man, and I cut it on, and I seen it was this dude named Ness. It was called him Ness, Elliot Ness. And my name used to be Elliot Ness, like in the 90s, like late 90s. You know? So, and I saw it, and I was like, reality TV show, he's bigger than me. It's really nothing I could do except to beat him in a battle. So,
what was the first scene? What was the first scene that you saw when he was on TV? You saw him battling, or you saw him walking for cheesecake? You saw him getting choked. That show was great. There's so much good things for Ness. And you look back at it and you laugh at every moment of the show. Where it's just like, oh man, like you can never picture this really happening to him, but it's hilarious. Classic.
Right. Nah, the first thing I saw was his audition because they showed the replay of the show, and I saw his audition, and I was like, yo, his voice and flow is crazy. He ain't really saying nothing. I'm better than him. You know what I'm saying? I can kill this nigga in the battle. So, I was watching every time the show came on, I was watching it. I was there. I was on it. And then I seen the one where he had the battle with Jay Mills. I was like, I would cook both of these little niggas, man. They got good memories, but they got long verses and they ain't saying nothing. I cook both of these niggas, man. So I started calling him out. I started calling out Ness. He had no reason to really, to respond. He knew who I was. He heard of me. But he had no reason to respond because I wasn't really doing anything around the time. So then 2003 came, and then I was on my own reality TV show. It wasn't nearly as big as Making the Band. But I was on the reality TV show, and I got signed to Interscope because of it. So, then, I put the pressure on him a little bit. But then that was also right around the time where I quit battle rap, so it really wasn't any need for us to ever really cross paths like that. You know what I'm saying? I was doing my music and my life thing.
Was it almost was it like unheard of, like at the time period, to have like a battle rapper from the South come up to Philly or New York to battle? Like that's kind of where, like, for the most part, we know battle rap in that era because that's where the most DVDs came out of. So was it like if like you and Ness, if you and Ness tried to battle in 2007 in Philly, like everybody's like, nah, it's not happening.
I would have died in Philly, bro. I would have went up there. I would have got booed off stage. And I would have got jumped before I left the venue, bro. Like that shit don't happen. It don't. For somebody from the South challenges anybody from the East Coast, nah, bro. Nah, that don't happen. They weren't gonna have that. So if we were to battle, it would have been if we would have crossed paths in LA or somewhere else, or even down here in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Because we're fans of the East Coast. We weren't the participants. You know what I'm saying? So we would have let him get his shit off. You know what I mean? But me going up there, nah, they weren't gonna have that, man. So it was just a thing that was in the back of my mind ever since then, man. And when I heard that he was getting into this era of battle rap, I knew it was gonna happen eventually. You know what I mean? So I just waited my turn, man.
Yeah, you believe in heavy and just waiting, letting things come to you. You're very patient. Like you let time figure itself out always.
Absolutely, man. I mean, if it's something that I know I can make happen right now, then of course I'm gonna get my bully on. But for the most part, man, I'm a Libra. I'm a Libra about my shit, man.
You're a Libra?
Yeah.
I'm a Libra too. When's your birthday?
September 26th.
Oh, okay. I'm October 2nd. Actually, I have the Libra sign tatted on my wrist. So we're like,
dope.
Yeah, man. So we're like that, man. We let the game come to us,
Very patient, very meticulous, man, and very go with the flowish. So I just figured I'd wait my time, and when that happens, I'm gonna show out, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not really many battles that I really care about, even though I'm gonna always show up. It's not battles that I really care about like that. But that battle right there, oh man, you talking about 15, 16 years in the making. So I had to, Like to show up for that one.
It was a great battle, man. And the environment was awesome, and Ness is a good sport now. And it always amazed me that it always amazed me that after Summer Madness 2, he still continued to battle, because that was such a bad loss for him publicly that I thought he would have gave up or would have never adapted. Like Philly, the whole generation of Philly was so dominant a decade ago.
Right.
But now they have yet to have like fully translated on the stage, and it sucks because you look back, you're like, damn, man, 2007, an Ness or Reed Dollars or this guy from Philadelphia can kill any of these guys easily.
Well, you know what it is, man. It's because Schmack has done such a good job of branding a certain style of battle rap that if you don't sound exactly like that, or if you don't sound reminiscent of that, the people can't really hear what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not accepting of it. Well, the new fans anyway, they're not accepting of what you're saying if you're not, sounding like somebody that's been on that stage before. So the Philly sound, the real cadence heavy, the delivery heavy, performance heavy, like I'm gonna act out my bars. If I'm gonna say I'm gonna stomp a nigga, you gonna stomp on the ground. Like that right there isn't as well received in the era of we want all punchlines. If you ain't having a punchline, we need a moment. You know what I'm saying?
One of your lines there was like one of the many most underrated lines you've ever had. Hold on, give me 1 second.
All right.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. I put my phone to charge. So there's one line you had that has been heavily underrated. I know there's tons, but one of them I wrote it down. That was me on level 1. You ain't winning tonight unless they think I'm Megatron and put a rig in the fight. And then I got no reaction. And then you yourself were like, what?
Like I said, man, that was the first time. Yeah, that was Rashadi. That was the first time that I showed up to an event fully prepared and then didn't get any reactions. I wasn't used to that, man. I was used to people being receptive to what I was saying, regardless whether I was the underdog or the favorite to win. So when that happened, that was the first time I had experienced any bias against me. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know how to handle it, man. That's what actually made me choke, man.
Yeah, the new fans now they make it very difficult for the battler. They make it really difficult, and they crucify battle rappers, and they don't realize how difficult sometimes the sport is. Whereas like if a battle rapper just gets through all 3 of his rounds without stumbling, like you got to pat that guy in the back. You got to pat, because I know every single battle after the 3rd round they're like, whew, I don't even care if I won. I just want to get a drink.
Absolutely, man, what you talking about, man? Shout out to Sid, man. She said, when you see somebody get all 3 of their rounds off perfectly, he had no life for the past 2 weeks. That's facts, though. That's super facts, dog. Like, if I get through my rounds flawlessly, that means I sat in my room or drove around in my car for 2 weeks straight doing nothing but memorizing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing but memorizing, man. Like, you don't have no life. You have 0 life when you have to memorize that many bars and a performance along with it and make things happen on camera, man. You know what I'm saying? It's really, it's tough. It can get tough, man. But it's the life we chose. We don't complain about it. We make it happen. And if we don't, we just move on to the next one and try to make sure that we don't come across that again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, for sure. What would be out of all the battles you had? What was your most favorite battle? It's like I love this battle. I love preparing for this battle. Or even if it was the most difficult, but you still loved it because of how much it pushed you. For me, I thought that battle for you personally was your Marv 1 battle, but you might have a different narrative.
That was one of them. I mean, like, it's so many because you reach milestones and things that like I got into this era of battle rap. For the WRC thing to get rid of those videos and to battle the Source, Ilmac, Mark 1, and Ness. You know what I'm saying? So, like, all 4 of those battles were, another notch on my milestone, man. My milestone little little tablet. It's like I got these 4 right here. So when I battled Ilmac, it was like, all right, I can scratch that one off. When I battled Marv, okay, I can scratch that one off. And Thesaurus, I can scratch that one off. So with Ness, that completed my run, man. Like I don't really have I don't really have a favorite outside of those because I was still learning with Ilmac. You know what I'm saying? I was still trying to figure it out. But by the time I got the Thesaurus, it was like, yo, like this is like 2 Super Saiyan Blues out here fighting. And we just gonna go back and forth until whatever. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with me and Marv. I was still learning with Marv too, but I was on my way. You know what I'm saying? And by the time I got to Ness, it was like, nah, man, I don't know if y'all be watching, Dragon Ball Superman, but by the time I got to Ness, it was like, nah, bro, I'm on my Ultra Instinct. Y'all niggas ain't messing with me when I'm on my best.
That was actually one of your best performances of your career. I agree. That's definitely one of your best. I feel like you were motivated. You said to yourself, like, I haven't been motivated for a while, and I was actually motivated for this match. And so,
absolutely.
I think about some of the environments you've been in, right? You were at MOB, the first Massacre of the Bay, classic.
Yeah, man.
And when I look back at that event, beyond the names in that event, the battles from that event, entry to that event, I think was like $10, $15. Where now battle rap events are like $50 minimum, and
50, 60, yeah,
right. And I know for you, it's gotta all just be like one big mind blower. It's like, I never thought it would be this way. I never thought it would look like this.
Nah, man, because battle rap is supposed to be battle rap. It's not supposed to be a place where we have our own celebrity. We have groupies. We get paid. We travel the earth, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's weird, bro. It's weird, man. This is the purest form of hip hop. Where it's stripped down to where you have your only thing you're listening to is somebody's thoughts. That's it. So for us to be flying across the planet, flying across the country, and entertaining people, it's like our own little industry itself. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. The growth has been crazy, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, man. And you were there, like some of the most organic moments, some of the most classic moments. I've always wondered, was there anything behind the scenes that you were like, did you have control of? Like, you helped set this match up, you helped get this event going, because there's a lot of pieces and components. And the way Grind Time was run at the time, it's weird how organized the company was when it was early, and how down the line, it had its dysfunctionalities. And a lot of people in Grind Time, or all like participants, were like, as a panel of 5 guys setting these things up, and this battle rapper like helping out with this event, this battle rapper helping out with that event. Was there ever a time you behind the scenes you helped organize something as far as an event, or ever put a battle together?
I've definitely helped put together a couple matches, man. I helped Mr. Fad get in contact with Arsenal for their battle.
Oh, nice, nice.
What's crazy about it, we was all in Sweden together. And, Arsenal, I don't even think Arsenal battled. He was just there just because the organizers loved him, man. So, I battled out there, and Mr. Fad was there as well. It was a lot of people there. And me and Mr. Fad, we had vibed out. So, we were supposed to work on some music. So he hit me up, and he was like, yo, I'm trying to battle Arsenal, man, for my birthday card, and you put me on the card as well, so I linked them up. Shoot, man, it's been a few matches I've helped put together, but only reason I really remember that one is because Fab was involved, man, and that's not some shit that normally happens. But outside of that, man, there's a few I just can't really remember because it's not something that you're supposed to keep tabs on like that. You just make it happen and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So, I've definitely helped out a lot with Grind Time Atlanta. Definitely did some things for Grind Time New York. And, outside of that, that's probably, ABR and,
No, I mean, it's funny, like, I appreciate how humble you are, where it's like, you have all these like accolades or things that you've assisted, and you're just like, it's not a big deal, or I didn't really keep tabs on it, or I don't remember. But these little details are what sparks movements to come together. These little things, these little puzzle pieces make the big picture. Like you setting up this event, you setting up this battle, you even having a conversation with this person could be the spark for this person doing this, and it could be transcending, or it could be groundbreaking.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's but I just look at it like it's all, all components of the same machine, man. So one component goes missing, the machine doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So you can't focus on that. You can't focus on being that one. You can't focus on one minute little thing when everything has to work together. You know what I'm saying? So I just look at one minute little thing can result in something big, but you don't focus on that, man. You focus more on the movement.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. So beyond this upcoming battle you have in a month, you have a hit list. You got somebody in your radar. You got something that you want to accomplish. You have a goal that you're looking towards for battle rap in 2018. Could be a battler. Could be a league.
I didn't have a hit list, man, but I do now. Man. It's come to my attention that even though I beat Heartless, people still think I can't punch. So I guess you got to punch in every era, because B Magic was the next era of punchers, and he's the one that people hail. So I feel like if I battle B Magic and beat him, I'll be good on the punch stigma for a while, and then it'll come back up again like later with Av or somebody like that, or Big K or some shit like that. But
that's cool. Okay.
He's on the hit list. B Magic got to die. He's on the hit list.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned it. Look how things work out. Like, it's funny you mentioned that you want to battle somebody that punches heavy. When earlier in our conversation, the first thing I asked you was, what gave you the confidence to battle somebody that's heavy with their punches and their pen? And you're like, I know how to beat them. I know how to rap. So like you feel like what people still feel like I can't compete with that. So now that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna prove people wrong.
Right. Because me and B Magic had a Twitter back and forth before. He was like, y'all want to see me battle Ness? I was like, I'm about it. Punching was my old house. And he was like, we ain't even had a room in the house. And I'm like, y'all really ain't got no idea.
Yeah, I got no idea.
That's why I ain't gonna say I built that house, but I was a resident for some years, man. And I was a good resident. Rent never late, you know what I'm saying? Feet up on the couch, you know what I'm saying? Posted up, dog. Just doing my thing inside the punchline house. So,
going in your fridge, drinking your milk. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it was it's his house right now. It's his house, but I'm gonna knock on the door, and he's gonna open the door, and I'm gonna push my way past him, and I'm gonna take some cereal out the pantry. You know what I'm saying? I'm drinking the milk.
What cereal?
Yeah. I might got to go with cinnamon toast crunch, bro. I'm taking that man cinnamon toast crunch, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, for sure.
I'm gonna play his Xbox. And if he ain't got Street Fighter, I'm gonna make him go buy Street Fighter so I can play it on Xbox in his house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We doing all that, man. Shoot, who we got? B Magic. We got. I want to battle Suge, man. Ain't no history with me and Suge, but just I always get matched up with writers because that's what I do. I'm a writer, but I would like to challenge myself and battle a real bully. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's not afraid to try to push you around on stage. I would love that type of challenge. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I would love that type of challenge. And, we might end up fighting because I might push him too hard, man. But I'm up to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's an interesting one. Sugar's really aggressive and loud, while you're very laid back and smooth. So it would be like an interesting clash of words, of dialogue.
Yeah, man. Like people, a lot of people don't know that I can get loud unless they watch, one of my battles that happened on the small league somewhere, man. But I would like to battle Suge on the big stage, man. And get my bully on real quick, man. I don't bench 400 for nothing, man.
Nice. Oh man, but yeah, bro. So I think that definitely concludes everything that I want to know, and I learned a lot more about you that I didn't have a basis on or history on, and that was kind of like my goal. That was my goal for everything, to get people to hear more of you, because I just hate your story not being told. I know you don't care for it because that's how you are. You're humble, but me as a fan, it's like, yo guys, are you forgetting this? Are you forgetting this? Are you forgetting that? We forget the things in the past when something new and shiny comes up.
Right. I think that's just the way of the world, man.
That's a fact.
It is what it is, man. But at the end of the day, YouTube is forever. So, we do this of course we do it for ourselves, but we also do it for the fans and the people who get it and the people who will get it later. So, shout out to the folks that'll be listening to me in 2031 and finally, coming around and analyzing what it is that all of us do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh man. But yeah, bro. So thank you so much for your time, man. It was great. It was a great discussion. I think this is by far one of my. I think this is by far. I mean, I've definitely just started launching. This is probably my 5th episode, but this is definitely my favorite.
Right.
And
man, sure. I appreciate you for having me through, man. And hopefully you get more people on, man. I don't want to, I'm trying to help you get people bigger than me on, man. Let's take this thing as far as it can go, bro.
Yeah, man. I definitely I want to create as much positive content because this is still a street sport. You know as well as I do. Shit is always negative. It can go left field like this, and the negative exposure is what catches everybody's attention. That's why I got the Bonnie Godiva thing out the way as soon as possible. I was like, yo, let's just address it. Let's talk about it for 5 minutes and let's move on because I'm not trying to make headlines. I'm trying to bring quality. I'm trying to bring value.
Big facts.
And when you do it that way, it takes longer to build, but that's fine because it builds regardless.
Yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope, man. I appreciate the way you conducted the interview, man. And, hopefully you build and more people tune in, man, and check out what you're doing because I appreciate what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, man, no doubt. We'll definitely stay in touch, man.
Absolutely. You already know, man.
Donovan McDaff signing out.
Yes, sir. Shout out, man. I'll let y'all in a minute.
Have a good one.
All right, peace, man.